Beh, raga. Basta. I don't even get mad anymore. I said this when we ended it with Juric and we're back again. I don't trust these players. I said it in the match preview. This game stinks. I knew it until yesterday. I knew it since yesterday. What did I say in the match preview? This game stinks. I don't trust these players. I don't trust these players. The problem with us fans is exactly this. We trust these players too much. These players betray us every single 2 weekends. And it's the false illusion which gets us wrong every time. Every time. I keep on saying this. Maintain your enthusiasm. Because there is gonna be one of these days where we're gonna get fingered again. There we go. Happy Sunday, Roma fans. Oh my Christ. I can't do it anymore. I can't not deal with this season anymore. We're one step forward, 2 steps backward. 1 step forward, 2 steps backward. 1 step forward, 2 steps backwards. That's the trajectory. That's the trajectory with this football club. And if you don't understand this trajectory, then you haven't been sticking around for much. The trajectory is this. The trajectory is that this team does not know what consistency means. If you speak about consistency to these players, they will laugh at your face. They don't know what consistency is. And it's been part of the DNA of this football club in I don't know how many years. This team is not consistent. This team cannot pull continuous performances. They win a game, they play phenomenally. They win a game, they play good. They play a third game, they lose. And they make a relegation team resurrect once again. We made Verona resurrect. That wasn't enough. We resurrected Como as well. Como hadn't won a game in 9 fucking weeks. Roma come along. Don't worry, Como. Roma come along. It's a day trip with Roma. They come along, and don't you worry if you're feeling sick. Roma will come and cure your disease. Roma will come and resurrect the dead wood in Como, because I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. I mean, what the hell was this performance? I don't understand how you can possibly go from one extreme to the other extreme in 48 hours. Like, this team requires scientists to prove what goes wrong with it. Like, I don't logically understand how it's possible for this team to go from one extreme to the other in 3 days. To go from running around against Braga to sleeping. I had a nap today on that sofa. I had a nap. I had a great nap. If you're struggling to catch some sleep, my friends, don't listen to all those little dropsets of medicine and all those herb cures. Watch your own game. Watch this game. You'll fall asleep in 20 seconds. It's sad. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. I don't know. Like, you see what I mean? This team undefines and undefines physics, because the 1 minute you get enthusiastically back going with this club, trust me, they will crack 3 eggs on your forehead. It's so like scientifically and psychologically depressing following this team that I've had enough. Look, we were back going, now we're back down there. And now the relegation talks are back open because Como's 1 point from you. And I know, you laugh. We made Verona win, we made Como win in about a month. Like, we've got 19 points. Sorry, 16 points. I don't understand if people understand what we've done this season. We have 16 points in 6 months of football in the league. I am convinced that a lot of people don't conceptualize what we're currently living. 16 points in 6 months, 80% of football clubs which get 16 points in, not 6 months, sorry, it's not 6 months, in 4 months of football, all get relegated. 20% manage to save themselves. This is a relegation rhythm. It's a relegation form. It's worse than a relegation form. And I don't trust these players. I don't trust these players. I always say this. Don't get hyped up when these players win a game. You know, Look, speaking about the game, I blame Ranieri for this performance too. I think Ranieri's to blame as well, because I think that starting lineup is absolutely ridiculous, and I understand that a few players in this, like Hummels was planning to start, and then during the warm up he had to say no to starting a game because he had a fever. Mancini out. Ironically, we played the first half better than the second half. And that's the discussion that I was saying once again. This team doesn't play well with Dovbyk. This team does not play well with Dovbyk. I am slowly starting to realize, again, I want to give him more time. But now that we are basically halfway through the season, we've given him a bit of time. And Dovbyk he's a fucking light post, man. He is an absolute light post. Like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's 100%. It's the fact that the players don't play well with Dovbyk, but it's also the other way around. I think it's Dovbyk doesn't play well with the other players. Dovbyk is a light post. Dovbyk is absolutely ridiculously absent in games, and I think the players have a problem. Even the players that, you know, you'd expect more from, they are not performing this season. Dybala had another stinker today. You cannot tell me that's a good performance from Dybala, especially for Dybala's character. It's a stinker. Dybala's been having, and I'm not going to call it a stinker because maybe it's not a stinker, but it's not a good performance. It's an average performance. Dybala needs to do more than this. And Dybala doesn't like to play as a false nine, but even in the second half, where he was playing in his position, he did even worse than what he did in his non-position. So, Dybala, Dovbyk, Kone today, Mangiante said it during the match. You could clearly tell that Kone was not fit today. Hermoso. Mangiante said he has a muscle issue. And he did have a muscle issue because you can tell that Kone was not 100% fit today because he played with half the intensity that he did on Thursday in other games. So, you know, you have a game where Dovbyk plays bad, Dybala plays bad, Kone plays bad, Paredes has a fever, Hummels has a fever. You can't ask much because the other rest are all shit. The other players are all shit. So the moment you have a game where your best players don't play, your striker is absent, and the players that are the most experienced one who tend to kind of set up the play aren't available, you know, that's a problem. You don't win these games. And I knew that this game was going to stink since yesterday. What did I say in the match preview? This game stinks. This game stinks. I know my club and my team too well. This is the classic game that Roma fucks up. Had I never said this, 24 hours later, what happens? Exactly the same thing. The last time we won an away game was the 25th of April. These statistics and these records that we keep on throwing, the fact that we've got 16 points, the fact that we don't win an away game, Europa League and League combined, since the 25th of April, they are unacceptable. They are unacceptable for the investments that you put in this football club and for the character of the football club, placed it in the dimension of other clubs. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that we don't win an away game, Europa League and League combined, since the 25th of April. It's not possible to go on like this. It's not possible to continue like this. And I know that we've been saying this since mid-October, end of September. But these players don't realize that the situation hasn't changed. These players are accountable for being stubborn. Because these players, I won against Lecce and against Braga. I'm all back. The fans are back with me. The manager likes me. The manager gives faith in me. I did what I need to do. No, you're not. And that's what these players get wrong. In the minimal thing that they achieve, these players disconnect. They look. They claimed their reaction. Ranieri step up. They wanted that reaction. London away against Spurs was a good performance. Lecce at home was a good performance. And Braga was a good performance. Ranieri's in, let's get a reaction. Once we get this reaction, we're back. We're not going to get relegated. The fans are back with us. The fans are back at the stadium. The fans are back applauding me instead of booing me. I don't give a shit anymore. I did what I had to do. And that is what the players get wrong. Because at the minimal achievement, which is not even classified as an achievement because it's a mess. This season is a mess. These players disconnect. And these players go, right, I played 3 great games. Concede me a game where I can play with half the intensity, walking around the pitch, having a little nap, a little Starbucks. Because that game today, you cannot tell me that is the performance of a team that needs to climb positions. If that is the performance of a team that needs to climb positions, I can sit in this chair for about 3 years and I will bet you we will not go anywhere. So if these players actually understand that the season isn't just 2 games, that they've achieved dog shit this season, and that what they need to do is work with the money that they get paid for, maybe we'll start going somewhere. But until the vibe around the locker room and the wind around these Roma players, these divas, because these are prima donnas, is I won 2 games, now I'm back, I can rest a bit, we won't go anywhere. And I blame the manager after this performance as well. I do, because he needs to get more out of these players in these games. And going back to the starting lineup, I don't ever want to see Hermoso start a game, Enzo Lefebvre start a game, and that's pretty much it. These 2 players are a waste of money. These 2 players exclude precious game time for other. Why didn't Mancini start today? Mancini got subbed in and he was one of the worst players, but why didn't Mancini start? Hermoso is absolutely terrible. There's something about Hermoso which I don't like about him. I think it's also the attitude. He's such a bossy, classy bitch. He tries to act as a boss in defense, but he's shit. So I don't want to see Hermoso on the pitch again. And I don't want to see Enzo Lefebvre again on that football pitch. Enzo Lefebvre is a stubborn player. Enzo Lefebvre is a stubborn-ass player. Why couldn't Pizzili start this game? Why couldn't Baldanzi start this game? I don't know. Look, I think the best player today, in my opinion, if you could get a player out of the best formation today, I would put Salamakers. I think lately he's the one who tries the most. He had that good shot, which was basically our only chance in the game. The great shot and Celik, of course. Vabbè, ma Celik. I've been saying this since April 2022 that Celik is shit, and I got attacked by this. So, I genuinely don't think I need to ramble on about Celik as well. The moment and the day we will realize that our fullbacks are not good enough is the day where we can probably maybe admire for greater positions. Look, Look, I would have even put Zaleski today instead of instead of maybe a change of formation. Angelino tried, didn't do anything more than tried. Look, I think this is unacceptable. And the way you conceded that second goal, I mean, it's not that second goal which killed the game. What killed the game is the way you step up. You stepped up in the pitch today. What I want to speak about is first half, second half, because like it needs to be an argument right now. Dovbyk right now is useless, and you know what I blame Ranieri for? I blame Ranieri for overly changing the formation, which is something that I did not expect from him, because I actually thought that Ranieri was a classic manager which goes, a working formation should not get switched. Now, apart from Homos, who, by the way, I think having a headache can't be an excuse for not starting. That's my defense on the Homos part. I think a fever cannot stop a football player from starting a game. I really think it shouldn't. But let's say that Homos and Paredes had an intense fever. Okay, you change those two players, but you don't overhaul the entire formation, because then you kind of dismantle the improvements that you made. So it's kind of like the best formation needs to start. Why did we allow for so many rotations? This game was a massive game to win. We had to win this game. We are not in a position to go, well, these players rest. Let's put my B team in. We're not. So I blame Ranieri for this defeat as well. I blame Ranieri, and I blame the players, because the players are ridiculous, and the problem at this football club is exactly the players, because you keep changing managers. You went from Mourinho to De Rossi to Juric and to Ranieri, and you always get these performances. So the problem delves in the DNA of these players. The problem delves in these players not being and taking this situation serious at all. But what I was saying is, Dovbyk, until he's not fit, should not start games. I would also argue that it's better for Shomurodov to start games. You need to start Dovbyk because of the amount of money you spent on him, okay? But if Dovbyk plays like this, then I would much rather see Shomurodov on the pitch. And you know what I think about Shomurodov. So this is the situation. This team right now cannot play football with Dovbyk up front, because he's not fit, because he doesn't understand the tactics, because he doesn't understand Italian football, because he doesn't understand the players. He's a light post. I would much rather play with somebody who at least tries to do something different than a player who always does the same things and falling in the trap of defenders who know how to mark him well. That's the number one problem. The second problem is, if you get Paredes and Homos and Mancini out of this football club, you've got nobody who sets up the play. Because the other problem today, starting Celik and Hermoso in the back three, was that Celik and Hermoso cannot set the play. Ndika can. But one of the reasons why we played great against Braga and against Lecce is because Homos and Mancini can set the play. Because they're good in long balls. Celik, let's not even speak about him, Hermoso can't do it. So you're already limiting yourself, starting from the back line, to creativity up front, long balls up front. Adding on to this, if you don't have Paredes on the pitch, and you've got a Dybala who isn't fit, then you've got no idea on how to make the ball flow around, and you've got no idea on how to bring that ball inside the box, and ultimately how to score. Paredes, I would argue that Paredes is the machine of this football club. As of now, and as seen these past performances, and also what he did with De Rossi at the end of last season, Paredes is the part of this team which makes the mechanism flow. Of course, that's when Paredes is fit, but a fit Paredes is the working wheel of this mechanism. So if you don't have Paredes, if you don't have Hummels, if you don't have Mancini starting, if you have Dybala, it's not Dybala's season. You've got Pellegrini who's not doing anything. You've got Salamakers who tries, and Salamakers is my man of the match if you can find a man of the match. But other than that, too sterile, no ideas, no tactics, which is why in January, if you don't invest, you want to get stabbed by yourself. What you need in January is a right back, a striker, ideally a striker who sets up the play. Don't follow the path of buying another light post type striker, a physical striker, a physical merchant. Don't do that. You need somebody. I keep on giving the example, not him necessarily, but someone along the characteristics of Zirkzee, somebody who drops down and sets the play, because otherwise you won't go anywhere. And I'm gonna say this again because we're back where we were. We're back where we started now, because this is Roma. 2 steps forward, 3 steps backwards. We tried to hype ourselves up. We tried saying we need 4 points from the next few games. That got absolutely fucked up. Now you're back where you were. You're back down. You're back in the relegation danger. You're back in a position where Sunday's game against Parma is another game-changing, season-changing game. And you laugh. Let's laugh. But you have to be careful. You have to be careful. Because 16 points in 4 months of football is a relegation form. And you made Verona and Como win against you. I don't even want to know what we will do against bigger sides. You've got Milan coming up. You've got the derby coming up. You want to get insulted. The message that I would give to the players is you try your best to get insulted. You try your best. What I would say is don't act so offended when you receive all those insults on your social media accounts. When you walk with your car inside of Trigoria, when you drive inside of Trigoria, and you've got the fan out there which goes, "You're shit." Don't act offended. Don't act like a child who goes, oh no, the guy's offended me. I don't want to speak with him anymore. Don't do that, because you want to be offended. You're trying your best to get insulted. And after this game, you can all fuck off. You can all fuck off once again. Because we are back where we are every time. You can't catch a break. You cannot catch a break with this football club. We're back where we are. We're back now speaking about the basics of how to pass the ball and how to string through passes together. You know Jenga. You know Jenga. You build a tower, and you withdraw a little brick from it, and it destroys. That's exactly the metaphor to describe this football club. You build. You try to add layers. Even though it was very hard this season to add layers because of the season we've lived. You trying to add layers. Then comes the classic game week outside of the Olimpico, where a player or the players go and the tower collapses. And we're back again, restarting. Yes, we win a game. Yes, incredible performance. Don't overly hype the enthusiasm, because this is what happens with this football club. On Wednesday, you've got a game that I don't even need to say you have to win. Because if you're smart enough, after this shit show in the Serie A, maybe you tend to give a bit more energy and a bit more willingness inside the Coppa Italia. But I don't need to tell you this. You're professional players. Ranieri knows this. And it's not Ranieri that I doubt, because Ranieri knows this. It's the players which I don't trust. I don't trust these players. Or are these players smart enough to understand and to come to a conclusion that maybe it's time to wake up in the Coppa Italia a bit and maybe win on Wednesday? Because in the league, the best you can achieve, as we already said, is 8th. Because teams like Bologna win games, tough games against Fiorentina. So you're not even catching Bologna. So this football club lacks the basis of football, which is very ironic, but it describes who we are. We're a football club who doesn't know the basics of this game, full of players who are prima donnas, full of players who get offended in the first insult they receive, full of players who don't have the balls to step up, full of players and owners and board who don't understand how delicate the situation is and give nothing to change it. I've had enough. You know, we're 4 months into the season, 5 months into the season, whatever it is. The season is about to end, the year is about to end, Christmas is approaching. After these 4 months, can I proudly say I've had enough? Can I proudly say that I'm tired of witnessing this shit every single weekend? And I'm gonna end it there. You know, there's nothing for me to add. You know what you want to add, what these players want to add. It's a shit show. It's another shit show. So just go to bed and think about what you did, because this is unacceptable. It's unacceptable. 16 points in 5 months of football is unacceptable. Last away game 1, the 25th of April, is unacceptable. And you, yes, you are the culpables of this. But the players don't realise that they are. So, with that being said, I don't even want to speak about this situation anymore, because it feels like every time we fans also try to move forward, we're capitulated by these players and we're brought back down. Every time us fans try to go, yes, 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 we get brought back down. We cannot celebrate because these players maybe don't want us to celebrate because they are wrong for this. They are wrong for what they've done this season and anything. So I'm going to catch you tomorrow. Hit the like, subscribe. Let me know your comments in the comments down below. And this is it. This is the reality right now. So on Wednesday, we've got another game. Is fatigue an excuse? Can fatigue be an excuse? Can having a fever be an excuse? Or do we want to start giving balls? Do we want to start reacting by showing our balls to save this season? Time is ticking. Months are running. And you're not waking up. The only ones who are waking up here is us fans, as always. You're doing absolutely nothing to help us fans. And as I said before, you're trying your best to get yourself insulted. So don't act like a crybaby if you do. If you get booed at the stadium on Wednesday, and this is a message to the captain, this is a message to whoever, Mancini, if you get booed, don't fall in depression again. Don't. Because the boos or the minimum that us fans can give to you, the minimum, what we need to give to you is a few slaps on your faces other than boos. So maybe you'll actually wake up. A few kicks in the asses. Boos aren't enough. I've come to the conclusion that boos aren't enough. So that's it. Bye-bye. See you out. Another Sunday destroyed. Fuck off.